listening to me. Please note this down. It is very important.
Yes,
How to
ma'am.
send homework to me from tomorrow. Start sending the homework for lesson number 4, for which I have already conducted the class test on section 1 and 2. 9th A group, I have shared the class test marks few days back. Because I was unwell, children, I could not share your marks. 5-6 students are left from the 9th B group. I will share the entire list of marks of all the students in the 9th B plus C group by tomorrow morning, children. Okay, so
Ma'am, can you repeat this? Ma'am,
class
that
test,
how to,
how to what? How to submit
ma'am, how to
homework?
send you that, how to submit
Okay,
homework
again
on
I'm
that Google,
repeating.
right?
You will open your Google account. You will go to your Google Drive. Inside the Google Drive, make a folder of your name and roll number. Inside that, you will write the subject history, lesson name. Inside that, upload the photos, the pictures of your written work. For example, if in your notebook you have done some written work, you will click a photo of this so that I can check your CW. You will click photos of the pages and you will upload it in the folder of the respective lesson. And then you will share that specific folder to me. Why I'm saying this is because I cannot do it with my email account, otherwise all the space will be exhausted. So I need you to create your own Drive folder. Also on Google Classroom, also some activities or this kind of taking photos and submissions sometimes may not be possible for you. If it is possible from Google Classroom also, you can share it that way also. Am I clear here? Am I
Yes,
clear?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good.
Yes,
Please be
ma'am.
sincere and start submitting your CW, HW, whatever lesson activities, fun activities, whatever we have given you, children, you must submit. On your Google Classroom also, I have given you some assignments in doc form, in a Word file. Okay, for example, making a collage. You can use the internet for finding pictures. You can use a collage making software for making a collage. On the tribes of India and tribes of Java, I have given you one assignment. So there and then you can paste the collage and submit in a Word file, because each one you have a separate Word file. You need not make a separate Word file in your own computer. It is there on my drive. But then if you keep submitting homework and like this, then my drive will become full. So that is why your every lesson homework, I want you to upload all the photos in your own Google Drive folder and share that folder to me on my email account. I have already given you my email address. Am I clear here, children? Any
Yes,
doubt?
ma'am.
If you have any doubt, let me know. If you have any questions on Google Classroom also, you can send me a message. Or if you have any other queries, you can ask me on WhatsApp, personal chat also. Please do not flood the homework on WhatsApp, because other teachers, other children, they get distracted. Most of the important messages are lost, or many times we miss important messages. So please don't upload your homework, history homework, on the WhatsApp. Please share the pic photograph of your homework on the Google Drive from your email account, your parents' email account, or if your parents have made your own account, so please do it that way. Clear? बेटा ठीक है, आपको समझ में
Till
आया?
what date we need to submit everything?
एग्जाम के सिलेबस में इस बार आपका जो EVA1 है, मोस्ट प्रोबेबली आपका पहला लेसन जो है हिस्ट्री का, उसके कुछ सेक्शंस आने वाले हैं पहले एग्जाम के बेटे. ठीक है? यस, क्लियर
And
एवरीवन?
when will we get your email, ma'am?
The email ID.
Ma'am, we have not received your email ID.
अरे WhatsApp chat I have shared, and also I am again typing it here. Wait. Actually, Google is Zoom.
Until when we need to submit this?
15 days I have given you, beta. I have given these instructions on the Google Drive message today also. Please check your emails. Please check your emails for my messages. I have again shared my email account also. This is my new email account because I don't want the drive space to be exhausted. So please upload the homework on your own drive and share it with me. clear now? My email
Yes,
account
ma'am.
is with everyone now. My email account address.
No,
Clear
ma'am.
now? Okay. Now,
No,
second point
ma'am.
is about your exam. Your evaluations will happen. So most probably your fourth lesson of history, that is forest society and colonization, will come for the EVA 1. And also today I'm not taking your test. I was unwell, so I haven't taken test for 9th A group also. So next week on Saturday, your test is postponed for section 3 and 4. Please note it down in your notebook. Your test will be conducted next week on Saturday on section 3 and 4 of lesson number 4 of history. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, assignment status, children. Whatever work I'm assigning, I will also mention a deadline also. For example, for your activities on WhatsApp group also, I have today shared for the 9th class, 10 to 15 days you finish your fun activities or any other activity of previous lessons I have given you. You can take 15 days. But I would request you to complete your CW on time and share your CW with me so that I can check your CW. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Syllabus is clear with everyone. Fourth lesson
Yes,
of
ma'am.
history will be coming for EVA 4. Okay? And history question answers are lengthy. So I request you also, please stay in the habit of writing your answers so that we don't have any problems later on. Okay? Now shall we begin with French Revolution now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'm stopping the video. I'm sharing my slide of the French Revolution. Let's begin with a new lesson.
Ma'am, I saw that video, ma'am.
Good, very good. I hope you liked it.
Yes, ma'am, but not full, ma'am. Only 45
It's
minutes.
okay. It's okay. We are just beginning today, so let's just wait. Let me just open my slide. Is the slide visible to all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we start with the
Yes,
first
ma'am.
lesson of history, now we're starting with the first lesson of history, that is the French Revolution. You already know about a lot about France as a country. Now, can anybody tell me what kind of a government does France has? What type of a government France has?
Republic.
It is a French
Republic.
Republic. Children, it was after the French Revolution that France became a republic. Can anybody tell me what do you understand by republic? Republican form of government. What is the difference between democracy and republic? You people are in 9th grade and you have been taught many times about the difference between a democracy and republic. You should be able to answer this question now in 9th grade. Okay, so children, our country is a democratic republic. The main difference between democracy and republic is that in a democratic form of government, the people are more powerful. They are the representatives are chosen by the people. So democracy is a kind of a government of the people, by the people, for the people. But in a republican form of government, again voting happens. The representatives are chosen by the government, but then the bureaucracy and the leaders have more powers. It is not very easy to snatch away their positions once they are chosen as the representatives of the government. In the current times, in the contemporary times, France is one such country which is a republic. If one becomes a prime minister or president, they have a lot of power. You cannot remove them from the power very easily. America also in the present time is a republic. China is a country which is a republic. These are some countries which are of the republican form of government. Similarly, France became a republic after the French Revolution, after overthrowing the monarchical form of government. There was a monarch and his name was Louis XVI. Okay, just at the age
Louis
of
16.
20. Yeah, Just at the tender age of 20, he became the king of France, and and the queen of France was Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette.
Very good. His wife's name was Marie Antoinette. Now, before I tell you about how the French Revolution began and what were the causes of
Yes,
the French
Swagam,
Revolution, what were the problems that led to the French Revolution, first we must understand the society and economy and the polity of Europe in the 18th century. Remember, children, here we are talking about the 18th century, mainly the 18th century when industrial revolution had begun, especially 17th century, 18th century. You know about industrial revolution with the various inventions that happened during those time after the age of reasoning, or you can call it the age of enlightenment. Okay. uh, so first we'll discuss about how Europe was like, because Europe at that time did not had clear demarcations of separate countries. Just like you have a country of France, it has a certain boundary. United Kingdom, the countries in United Kingdom have a certain boundaries. Then you have Germany, then you have Spain, you have these all European countries in the European continent. Earlier in the 18th century, these demarcation of boundaries was not there. It happened in the mid of the 19th century, around when the 1848 revolution of the unification of Germany happened. Okay, during those times, on the basis of languages, on the basis of cultures, the demarcation of Europe into those countries happened. But we are here talking about France as a country. Here we are talking about Europe in the 18th century. And here, mainly the new ideas of liberty, equality, fraternity, they emerged especially from France, and they spread all across Europe, and later they affected the entire world. Okay, when we're talking about the 18th century, before that, in the 12th and the 13th century, there was something which was known as the age of reason or enlightenment, and that happened prior to the industrial revolution. It means that various thinkers, philosophers, many scientists, they appeared during that time, and they started thinking about why things happen. They started thinking logically about why things happen the way they are happening. For example, the surface of the earth, how day and night happen, why do we see the stars? These kind of scientific and logical thinking started happening in Europe, especially it began in the 13th century. Okay, before that time, right from 600 AD to 1200, by the end of the 12th century, we have in Europe something known as the Dark Ages. Dark Ages means a period when only church was most powerful, the clergy was most powerful, the religion was most important in Europe, and people were not encouraged to experiment and do any kind of logical thinking or do any kind of scientific discoveries or inventions. It was not recognized, it was not valued. Only church had all the powers and the privilege when we look at the religion point of view. But then gradually, when the age of reason and thinking started happening, then later on, to give you one example, Ferdinand Magellan, he took the revolution of the earth to prove that earth is spherical in shape. These things gradually started happening that led to the industrial revolution by the 17th and the 18th century, when we have inventions of the printing press, we have the invention of the steam engine by James Watt, and various other inventions that led to the setting up of industries in Europe, and eventually later on the colonization of various countries. Okay, Ganesh Kune has some question. You may ask, beta. Yes, what is it, Ganesh? If you have any query, let me know.
No, ma'am, by mistakenly it raised hand.
Okay. Now, second, another important feature of the 18th century Europe is the slave trade and human trafficking, especially by France. During those times, France has plantations. Okay, and in these plantations, they needed the workers, some kind of workers for these plantations. So what they used to do is they used to bring these slaves from which continent? Can you guess? Which continent they bring the slaves from?
Africa.
From
Africa.
Africa. Very good. From Africa, they used to bring these slaves, and slave trade and human trafficking was very much prevalent during those times. Children, in your previous lesson, you have studied about what are plantations. You already know with the coming of the Industrial Revolution in Europe, there were these forests that they cleared, and especially the oak trees were valued because of its durable timber for building the ships. So now with the clearing of too many forests, what happened? They started building ships, and also they needed markets for their mass production they did in the industries, for selling their finished goods and finding raw materials. They started finding colonies. Now when they were finding colonies, they also required labor to work in the plantations that they made. And France was among one such country where plantations were there, and they wanted laborers to work in those plantations. So they started, the slave trade was a very, very prominent and important feature of the 18th century, and slaves were considered not as humans. They were mainly considered as commodities or things that you own. Okay, another important feature of the 18th century is because of upheavals against the monarchical and aristocratic powers happened. Now, when I ask you, can you give me one example from present day times, a monarchical form of government, in which country do you find it? And what is the difference?
Nepal.
No, you are wrong. You are
England.
studying in 9th standard and you are saying monarchy.
Ma'am, England. Ma'am, England.
2006, you already know in Nepal, 2006, democracy has been established, a new constitution has been written. So
Ma'am,
we,
England.
England, very true. England, we have
England.
monarchical form. We have the queen. So what is the difference between monarchy and aristocracy? You can take example from India also. Anybody can you tell me the difference between monarchy and aristocracy quickly? Somebody has raised hand, but I'm not able to read their name because something they have a weird name they have typed here. No, I'm taking a class. I'm taking a class, ma'am. Yeah. Okay, so what is the difference between monarchy and aristocracy? Monarchical form of government is there in England. Aristocratic form of government is not monarchy. What is the difference? Children, you already have studied about the Delhi Sultanate. You have studied about the Mughal Empire. Okay, especially when we look at the Delhi Sultanate, you know the nobles were more important. The ulemas and the nobles were more important.
Yes,
Why? Why the nobles and ulema were more important? They were known as the kingmakers, right? So these
Yes, ma'am.
nobles, the aristocracy is the rich class, the capitalistic class. People who are rich, they have more powers and they have the power to change the rules. Even for example, if we take present day times, United States of America is a Republican form of government where Donald Trump is the president, but he belongs to the business class, isn't it? So now he has more powers. The rich people have more power. So rich are becoming rich and poor are becoming poor. Okay, so aristocracy is people who are rich. The nobles and the ulemas, they are sometimes even more powerful than the king. Okay, so that is the main difference between a monarchical and aristocratic form of government. So when we look at France, we have the features of a monarchical form of government where the aristocracy was also very powerful. I will come to the French society in the upcoming slides. Okay, so another very important feature of the Europe in the 18th century is that upheavals against monarchical and aristocratic powers led to the revolutions, leading to the ideas of liberty, fraternity, and equality. Because of too much
Two children are
exploitation,
unable to join. They are telling that you are not admitting them.
it is very difficult. It is very, very distracting to add somebody in the middle. Let me try. I can't see anybody, any new students here. I will be sharing this recording on the WhatsApp. Please go through the recording if the children have missed anything. Okay. Now shall I continue? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so because of too much exploitation and oppression of the middle class people who belong to the third estate, the educated people also, too much of oppression and exploitation was happening. So that led to new thinkers were there. Robespierre was there, Montesquieu were there. These were some of the philosophers and thinkers of those times who talked about liberty, fraternity, and equality. And France was the hub. It was a center of these ideas. And when the French Revolution happened, because of the success of this revolution, these ideas spread all across Europe eventually, and it was interpreted by other countries also, and they also followed suit, followed the same ideas of liberty, fraternity, and equality. Eventually, the entire world believed in these ideas of liberty, fraternity, and equality. So this is what Europe was like in the 18th century. Now we'll come to the next slide. Ideas of liberty, freedom, and equality. Have you ever wondered where these ideas originated? So again, these ideas have originated mainly in France. France was the country where these ideas originated. The French Revolution, there is an error here. Let me just rectify this error. It is 1789. Okay. So the French Revolution happened for a duration of how many years? 10 years. French Revolution happened from 1789 to 1799. It led to the coming of new times. There was a new system of governments. What kind of a government appeared? Which kind of government, children? I just
Republic.
Republican form of government. France became a republic. Also, there was a very great impact of the new thinkers and philosophers. There was an interpretation of these new ideas by other countries and the world. Okay. Now I'll give you a quick introduction of the French Revolution. It's a beginning of the French Revolution, how it began. Now, on 14th July 1789, the citizens of France, how the revolt began. I'm just explaining you that. On 14th July 1749, the citizens of France, they stormed the fortress prison called the Bastille. What was the Bastille? It was a fortress where, what was it about? Here the king and the queen were residing. Okay, and most of the governors, most of the aristocrats, they were there in the Bastille at that time. Okay, now why did these people attack the fortress? Can anybody tell me? Why did they attack the king?
Ma'am, because he was exploiting them.
Because there was a event called tennis, the tennis court in the estate meeting.
Rather, it was suspected. I mentioned it here only. These people, the citizens, they suspected something. What did they suspect? They suspect that the king, he is hoarding. Hoarding means jama karna, ikhatta karna. He is hoarding ammunition. What are ammunitions? Guns and some kind of weapons. He was hoarding these ammunition to attack the masses. And who these masses belong? Who were these masses? These masses were the middle class people, the educated people. They belong to the third estate, who were the most oppressed and exploited people of France during that time. So how it sparked off? How the revolt began is mainly because the people started suspecting that the king is about to attack the people, because 97% of people of the total 100%, 97% of the people of France belong to the third estate. These were the people who were the most exploited class of France, and these were the people who were having the burden of paying the taxes. They had to pay a lot many taxes to the aristocracy and the church. So they were the exploited class. They were not very happy and they were very, very angry with the king. And when they heard that the king is trying to attack them, the king is trying to kill the people, they got very, very upset and angry. And then on 14th July 1789, they attacked the fortress prison, the Bastille. Okay, during that time, they killed the governor. Okay, the Bastille was a symbol of the despotic King Louis XVI, and everyone hated the king. After the destruction, people hated the king so much that after they destructed the fortress Bastille, the stone fragments that were there, they took them as souvenirs to remember that we have killed the monarch, and now it will be the people's rule. People will choose their representatives. So they saved the fragments, the stone fragments of the fortress as souvenirs, as a memory. Okay, it began with a chain of events started by affected middle class and then the lower class, leading to the execution of king. Eventually, he was beheaded along with the queen. The people were so enraged and unhappy with the king that they took him out and they beheaded the king and the queen. And it was followed by a series of revolt against the monarchical form of government. I've already explained you what is a monarchical form of government, where there is a king and queen, and if they have children, they become the king and queen and they rule the country and they decide the laws and the rules, who will pay the taxes. All these things are decided by the king. Then during this time, ideas of liberty, fraternity, and equality was the outcome of this revolution. So this is an introduction how the French Revolution began in the year 1789. So let me just point out some of the important events from the French Revolution. I'll read out some excerpts from your lesson. Let me just share the screen with all of you. Okay, now is this screen visible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
here, the events 14 July 1789, it happened in the city of Paris. It was in a state of alarm. The king had commanded troops to move into the city. Rumors spread that he would soon order the army to open fire on the citizens. Around 7,000 men and women gathered in front of the town hall and decided to form a people's militia. People became very angry, and as an army, they attacked the fortress, the Bastille. They broke into a number of government buildings in search of arms. Finally, a group of several hundred people marched towards the eastern part of the city and stormed the fortress prison, the Bastille, where they hoped to find hoarded ammunition. In the armed fight that followed, the commander of the Bastille was killed and the prisoners were released, though there were only 7 of them. Yet the Bastille was hated by all because it stood for the despotic power of the king. The fortress was demolished and its stone fragments were sold in the market to all those who wished to keep a souvenir of the destruction. The days that followed saw more rioting both in Paris and the countryside. Most people were protesting against the high price of bread. So this was the beginning. This sparked off. The king actually levied taxes on the bread also. Everyday bread, the needs of the bread. And the funny side is the Queen of France, she said that if you can't buy bread, then you can buy cakes. Okay, so this is one fact about the revolution, how people were very angry because even they levied taxes on the bread, and the king was becoming very, very oppressive during those times. Much later, when historians look back upon this time, they saw it as the beginning of the chain of events that ultimately led to the execution of the king in France, though most people at that time did not anticipate this outcome. How and why did this happen? What were the reasons of, what were the causes of the French Revolution? So we will be looking at that in great detail. Okay, we will talk about, I'll share the screen with you. Is this screen visible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Children,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
is this? Can you depict what is happening in this picture? Can you see what is there?
Yes, ma'am.
What is there?
Poor, rich, and the king.
Ma'am, poor.
The
Ma'am,
poor,
poor
the
are
rich, the
big.
king.
Oh,
Yeah. So the king and the you can see the noble. They are sitting on the poor man. He belongs to the third estate. Okay. So causes of French Revolution had been divided into three parts. The first one is the social cause. Social cause will include the society of France divided into three estates. Then how the taxes were levied, what were the situations during that time when Louis XVI became the king of France, and how he became very, very oppressive, and the kind of grandeur and extravagant life he was leading, and he was not worried about the plight of his own people. Okay. Then secondly, there were economic causes, and thirdly, what were the political reasons that led to the French Revolution. In the upcoming sections, we will talk about this in great detail. Let me quickly show you this slide on what the French society was like during the late 18th century here. So French society before the revolution here, children, where before 1789, you can see King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. She was a princess of Austria, and she married King Louis XVI, and Louis XVI became the king of France just at the tender age of 20 in the year 1774. Okay, and 1789 is the year when the French Revolution began. So you can make out, children, if the span of the year from 1774 to 1789, around almost 15 to 18 years, people were highly oppressed when they became very, very angry, and they killed the king and the queen, and they ended the monarchical form of government. Below the king and the queen, you can see the clergy, which was known as the first estate. Clergy means the church. You already know, as I was telling you about how church was so important in Europe at that time. There was no, whatever church decided, everybody had to follow that. The church never gave any kind of taxes. In fact, the people of the third estate, the artisans, merchants, bourgeois, city workers, peasants, and beggars, everybody has to pay a tax to the church. This specific tax was known as the tithe. Okay, sorry, tail. Okay, it was a tax levied by the church. It was known as a tithe, and people were supposed to pay this tax to clergy, which is the first estate. And then there were some other kinds of taxes which were paid directly to the state, and it was known as the jail. Okay, tithe and tail, it is mentioned in your textbook. I will just quickly show that also to you. Okay, so when we look at this triangle here, it shows the hierarchy of the French society. First, we have the king, then you have the church and the clergy, which is the first estate. Then second estate was the nobility, which means the aristocracy. Nobility will have people who are the rich people, the rich class, and mainly the plantation owners who were very, very, very rich. Okay, even these people, the nobility, also never had to pay any kind of taxes. So the entire burden was on the third estate people of the educated lawyers, people, merchants, artisans. Bourgeois means the business class people, city workers, peasants, even the beggars had to pay certain kind of taxes. So you can imagine the kind of oppressive society was there during the time of Louis XVI. Also, children, 97% of the total population belong to the third estate. And then the rest 3% belong to the nobility, clergy, and the king. I hope this is clear to everyone now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Right now it is 8:30.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it brings us to the end of the first lecture, and this much I have covered with the 9th A section. I have given you some important instructions about completing your homework CW. From this particular section, I will be sharing the question answers with all of you. Please complete all your writing work on time, and as a Google Drive folder, keep sharing your homework with me. And whatever assignments I have given you today, you have 15 days time to complete that. I hope this is clear to everyone. And please don't hesitate
Yes,
to
ma'am.
ask any questions. You can send me your questions on personal chat on WhatsApp and also on Google Classroom. Also, you can ask any questions. I will be answering all your questions. Okay. Now with this, we end today's lecture. I'll see you on next Friday. Yes. Friday, Thursday also, I guess we have. No, Friday, Saturday we have class. Yes. Okay, so I'll see you next Friday and Saturday will be your test. Okay,
Bye, ma'am. Bye.
bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye bye.